Hi, thank you so much to a lot of responses that I got at this video. Much appreciated. I see the responses. I can't reply to each and every one. So I chose to use this comment. I'm so heartbroken. This is like a mission impossible. I hope they fix it. What can we all do to help? I'm really sorry that this really needs to change. Look, thank you so much, Ne. I can't see properly the name of the person who responded, but I just want to emphasize that I have been vlogging for the past, is it year and a half or 2 years, going to a variety of spaces. Some are hotels, some are public spaces, some are homes, just a variety of spaces, ne? Just to indicate how not just buildings, but as well environments in general are not accessible. And obviously, as I said in another video, I'm using um, the wheelchair as an illustration. Blind people will have, or people whose sight ranges will have a different experience to regarding what access is. People who are deaf or who have a range in terms of hearing will have a completely different angle to take on access. For example, a blind person is important at the robots, robots. You know what robots are? Get for those people who don't live in SA. I'm trying to remember the term now. It's important to have that hearing ping on the robots so that you know when it's safe to cross. In a lift, it's important to have the lift be audible, have an audible thing to say, we're here at level 1 or level 2. I've noticed as well in terms of lifts for me, because when I often go into a lift, I'll have to collapse my feet to the side, so it's more spacious for me to maneuver inside the lift, but sometimes it's impossible to maneuver. So I go in straight, but if there's a mirror in the lift, not all lifts have mirrors, then when I reverse, I'm able to judge by the mirror where to maneuver the wheelchair. Because sometimes when I go in, I have to slant a bit to allow other people to be able to come through a wheelchair, a lift. So if there's a mirror, then I'm able to, reverse without worrying about am I bumping the sliding door of the lift. So it's not about a particular building. This is what I want you to understand. Yes, I was referring to parking specifically. I was referring to a four-walled building. However, I had to get out. What I could not document because it's in Joburg, people can take away my phone, and I was alone. Ne? The pathways, I've spoken about this before. The pathways, pedestrian walking ways, they are not conducive for a wheelchair. Never mind an electronic wheelchair. I have to maneuver on the road. I've had many incidences where cars zoomed past me. And sometimes they can even see me. It was not in the dark, it was daylight. And I think sometimes it's this internalized anger about persons with disabilities. Like, what the hell are you doing out in the street alone? These things are not foreign. We hear them all the time. Why in the world are you going clubbing? I remember this funny tweet. Somebody with disabilities went out for a good night, or they were planning to go out. And I don't remember the context properly, but I think she said, I won't go, or she went and she enjoyed herself. I don't remember the context, but the reply was hilarious. Somebody in the comments said, a person with disability, what are you doing out at night? Why don't you just stay at home? And I think her response was something along the lines of, I'm not a werewolf, whatever. I can go out if I want to. I should be able to. So luckily, I do have cases where, like yesterday, when I was going back into the parking, a taxi driver was waiting by our big taxis, our minibuses. at the robot. He shifted for me a little bit. He already stopped at the robot, but it was for me, for the ones who were coming across to be able to move across, or the cars to go straight. He was able to maneuver a bit, and I realized he's maneuvering for me to be able to get on the road, because I can't use the pathways. Where the pathways meet with the road, it's not conducive. I've had many cases where I would get stuck where the pathway meets the road to be able to get on and cross over the road, and I'd have somebody come to pull me out or push a wheelchair. Wheelchair is very heavy. I'm a big woman. Do you know what I mean? I mean, people can break their backs, and I shouldn't have to do that. So I'm not referencing. I used only this as an example. I have many other videos, and that's the thing about producing content while sick. I know I don't look sick here in this video, because when you do a video inside TikTok, there's an automatic filter I can't manipulate. My skin is lighter. I don't look like this. I'm darker in person. My hands are darker than this. My face is darker than this. And it does this thing where you're plumpier, although I am plumpy in the face. I look pretty, what people say, pretty good. If you see my other videos, and I've done a video where I share my experiences with my face and evolution of my face, and how it has changed, and I share actual photos. If you do a video outside of TikTok, it looks completely different. And oftentimes I use a selfie video as well, which looks different from a back camera. Anyway, people know me in real life what I look like, and I look damn beautiful, okay? Because I had someone do a sub post mentioning shit about filters, and as though I'm pretending to look like something I'm not. I have no qualms about my looks. Anyway, it's difficult to produce content while you are sick, because I can't produce it at the rate that I used to be able to do it. So I have so much backed up content up to 2 years that I have not released yet, because I want to, divulge on a number of issues and talk about them. It's important that we talk about them. Content on disability matters and chronic illnesses, the intersection between chronic illnesses and disabilities. It's still not something that we are used to, it being a constant deliberations, discourse in society. A lot of the times, persons with disabilities are hidden on purpose. A lot of the times, persons with disabilities are pushed in isolation because the environment has not been made conducive. Reasonable accommodation fails on many aspects from across various sectors of society. It isn't one particular place. So this is a systematic issue that requires systematic action. I feel like in South Africa, when I compare it to other countries like the USA, because it's the one that's a lot of times in the fall when it comes to social matters, we're still a little bit behind when it comes to discourse and matters around disabilities and chronic illnesses intersecting with disabilities. So talking about such things is very important. That's the contribution I want to make, because my life has completely altered. You can check out my other content. I try to journal my journey and bring certain perspectives. So issues like, or matters like race, gender, what else? Classism. We talk a lot about it. We're used to talking about it. We're used to bringing it to the fore. But with disabilities, we're still quite behind. And it's unfortunate in terms of statistics of disabilities. I think it's 5%. The number is always 5% for some weird reason. It can't be. It's because also how we define disabilities is so limited. So I'm trying to dig out some of these issues and aspects through my experiences. I have content that I have planned that I'm yet to produce. But I've also mentioned this, that I produce content based on what I'm able to do at the time. my body and my mind dictates it. I'm in a lot of pain. I'm not showing. Doesn't always show. But thank you so much for the attention.